A very good evening to you, our dear viewers. It's the 5th of December 2025. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. But first, though, let's look at the top stories. And tonight, President Yoweri Museveni campaigns in Bundibujo on pledges to establish cocoa factory. Premier Nabanja commissions water project in Kakumiro district. Integrating youth ideas innovations in the economic sector dominates third Tumsime Mutebide public lecture. And of course, lastly, political observers weigh in on the Washington Accord. The National Resistance Movement NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Museveni has pledged to establish a cocoa factory for the people of Bundibujo for value addition. He says the factory will not only make the farmers earn more from their cocoa, but also create jobs for their residents. Mr. Museveni made the remarks Friday while campaigning in Bundibujo district.
The National Resistance Movement presidential candidate Yoweri Museveni continued his campaigns in Rwenzori sub-region on Friday, holding rallies in Bundibujo and Ndoroko districts. In Bundibujo, Mr. Museveni addressed a rally at Bumadu Primary School playground, where he was received by a large gathering of NRM supporters. During his campaign speech, Museveni committed to establishing a cocoa factory to enhance value addition and create employment opportunities for the youth, given cocoa's significance as a primary economic activity in the region.
Cocoa. Tungire abarserias tujakora nabo tukora chocolate hano mu Bundibujo.
Furthermore, he expressed his intentions to repair the Fort Portal Bundibujo Road, which is currently in depleting state.
Emsinye byentaya mwine byona ebikuru okuyaho okugaruka mu koro rugudo rwa Bundibujo ka tugaruka hamisinji enyikara y'abantu.
Museveni attributed the ongoing transformation in Bundibujo, particularly in infrastructure, education and health care, to the peace that his administration fostered over the years.
Baitubu NRM yasimu bwebemberi businge bwaboho nebiro bitukamaliye mu government mubone busingo buliyo
bitahansere manye biroho kamango kunkaho okumbana muhure biriyo
baitu ibimbane banakyatu muguye butabango ko karagayo kamango manyaha mukaraga mutegere yebiriyo
ateliyo ndi tafari yo kubanza NRM letera hanju ya Uganda.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, issued a warning to the former Minister for State for Defense and Veteran Affairs, Christopher Chiwazanga, for blocking the residents of soon-to-be-established Bugendera district from attending the President's rally. She emphasized that the creation of the district is underway in Parliament and that protesting was unnecessary.
President gave an order for the creation of the district, Bugendera district, as a priority. But I want to warn you leaders. I am saying I want to warn you leaders. You cannot start refusing people to come for a rally of the president because of a district.
This situation arose after the former minister organized a separate rally at Blondo Primary Playground, where residents engaged in festivities throughout the night. On Saturday, the NRM presidential candidate is scheduled to continue his campaign rallies in Chitagwenda, Kabarole District and Fort Portal City. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Bundibujo.
Now about government scorecard, the government of Uganda development agenda over the years has developed programs that focus on poverty reduction, on youth and women empowerment, and of course some of those include initiatives like the parish development model to stimulate the local economies, the youth livelihood program for the young people, and Uganda Women Entrepreneurship program for the women, and Emioga, to mention but a few.
Bundibujo district has 27 sub-counties, 130 parishes and 838 villages, with a population of 264,778, according to the Census Report 2024. According to the Parish Development Model, the district has cumulatively received 46.52 billion Uganda shillings. Out of this, 39.93 billion Uganda shillings, representing 85.84%, has been disbursed to 40,160 beneficiary households. Bundibujo has a total of 58,755 households. Out of these, 40,160, representing 68.35%, have received PDM funds. In regards to Emioga, the district has a total of 36 Emioga circles with 10,479 members. Government has so far disbursed a total of 1.52 billion Uganda shillings. Looking at the education sector, the district has a total of 107 government primary schools, 145 private schools, 12 government secondary schools, and 13 private secondary schools. Breaking down the health sector, out of 27 sub-counties in Bundibujo, 1 has a government hospital, 2 have health center 4s, and 14 have health center 3s. In regards to the water sector, out of 838 rural villages in Bundibujo district, 568 have access to a safe water source, representing coverage of 68%. In regards to the energy sector, Bundibujo district is now connected to the national grid, with 9 sub-counties being connected to electricity. The following are the government interventions in the next Chisanja. The government will extend electricity to the remaining 17 sub-counties or town councils which are not electrified, complete the 4 seed secondary schools to reduce on sub-counties without government secondary schools, and construct more health facilities, among others.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has instructed the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, to give attention to matters of stranded flood victims who have not yet been relocated to safer places. Let's hear more in this report.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has addressed Ntoroko District on the evening of Friday, 5th December 2025. The Friday evening campaign rally has been held at Karugutu Primary School grounds.
Your Excellency, nyenda kumaza kusiima habo busingo bwolesere mukishweka kino endusite itulimu fragile akubereyi no mutano gwa Uganda.
This is the last day of his campaign trail in Rwenzori sub-region as he now fully switches to Toro sub-region on Saturday 6th December 2025.
Your Excellency, the most urgent thing that we may need to handle, that you as our flag bearer needs to handle, is the issue of the resettlement of the 9,634 people who have been affected by the floods.
Ntoroko being a border district mainly with Congo, this location comes with many challenges.
Mu December hakabaho insurgents na mbere abedf batahirire baitu tukusima Your Excellency habwewe presidency yawe na UPDF bakangu habwangu kuija kurora ngo abazugu bano babalemesa babakwata kandi abantu baitu baguma mu busingi.
Breaking down the 7 approach the NRM party intends to run its next government, President Museveni has noted with concern that the poor service delivery in Uganda has been caused about by improper planning.
Kore yitu twakore ntuihamu ebikuru muno nibyo tukubanza nabyo ati ni ngonza to tell you that from now on we are going to be very strict. Na speaker abilozire.
For the district like in Toroko, President Museveni highlights how development has reached many grassroots.
Engudo, amasanyalazi, esimu, mwena mwene esimu musawuzai.
According to the president, in the fields of education and health, they have also registered tremendous support from government as in Toroko district.
Tentegeka yunkusoma hano mfairo, nengamba ngu ukwimucha Karugutu Health Center 4 in Toroko to a district general hospital.
However, Museveni says the way forward should be wealth creation.
Atu in a PDM, imyoga, ezo sente zona za kubakonyera kubingo bunaku makaganyi.
Regarding stranded flood victims in Toroko district, President Museveni has handed the matter to the office of the Prime Minister.
I want to instruct my PPS to invite the Prime Minister and the head of the civil service come and deal with the issue of the 9,000 who are stuck here. The Prime Minister should come with the head of the civil service and the permanent secretary of the Prime Minister's office because they are the ones who are responsible.
For the corruption tendencies reported within the parish development model programs, Museveni has tasked the Minister of Local Governments, Raphael Majezi, to take up the matter.
The issue of the expensive process by the PDM people, I want Minister Raphael Majezi to come with the head of the PDM Secretariat, Garamuzi. Come and meet the other boy, the one whose number I gave you.
In Toroko, the president was accompanied by the first daughter, Natasha Karugire Museveni.
I want to take this chance to thank Mzee, myself, and like some of the young people were saying, for your tireless work over these years, day after day after day, to ensure the peace of Uganda and our continued advancement and development. The peace that we enjoy was hard earned, and it is our responsibility to preserve it, and we do that by voting.
Natasha carries the First Lady's campaign message in this area.
So Mama Janet's message was a reminder to all of us that on the 15th of January we should all remember and indeed go out, each one of us, and vote. Yes, we vote for Mzee Wakazi, the old man with the hat.
Ntoroko oye!
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Thank you very much there, Robert Onyango, and of course still at Ntoroko, but this time with Okurut, where leaders in Ntoroko district have welcomed the new peace deal between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. They say it will curb the spillover instability that has occasionally affected parts of Uganda, including their districts.
In Rwenzori, Ntoroko district understands the value of peace. Its proximity to the DRC once exposed it to ADF invasions until the NRM government restored stability.
What I'm proud about, the Uganda, under the leadership of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has contained this problem. Each time they try to attack Uganda, within few seconds they will have been cleared.
Some of our districts that borders Congo, our security depends on the Treaty of Congo. If Congo is unstable, the border districts are not stable.
The newly signed Rwanda-DRC agreement now complements Uganda's peace efforts.
But this will bring about development. First of all, cross-border trade, stability, and the trade environment will favor Ugandans to go and do business in Congo, and those ones in Congo to come here and do.
Ntoroko district is bordering DRC, but we are peaceful. We don't have any instability. So peace alone is a priority for us to vote NRM.
Because you know those some remnants from Congo have been passing here. Yes. So when Congo is peaceful, we are also very peaceful here. We know we are on the border. So that one is a very big achievement.
Leaders say such gains need consolidation, a role the NRM has pursued for years to drive development.
I was at school when Amin was the president of this country. I was working when President Obotetu was in charge of this country. I saw and experienced what was happening in this country. Till in 1986, when we achieved the good peace in this country. So let us not mess or play around with the security we have in this country.
This is why both leaders and residents are lining up behind the ruling party.
The population of Ntoroko has risen up, is now awake, and they have listened and adhered to the president's message. For example, those who are doing livestock farming are able to do improved breeds.
All the way from Kampala to Ntoroko, we are moving on a tarmac road, which is a very good road. We have electricity in the district, much as it has not yet reached in all parts, but we are expecting it very soon to reach in all sub-counties.
So for that reason, I'm asking Ntoroko, my friends, to join the rest of the country to vote for His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Protecting the gains remains central to the NRM campaign message. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Indeed, protecting the gains. Now over to Koboko, Alliance for National Transformation. Presidential candidate General Mugisha Muntu has urged the people of Koboko and Maracha districts to trust him with their vote, promising change and transformation. Muntu's campaign in Koboko and Maracha focused on reviving cooperative structures, restoring cooperative banks, and establishing agricultural banks to empower farmers and improve on rural livelihood.
Koboko oye! Wasairo oye! Tapule Adinyo.
Koboko and Maracha districts are facing significant challenges, including a shortage of health workers, poverty, and poor education standards.
The border or other youth who are unemployed to see that they do something to benefit.
Our President Yoweri Museveni proposed BDM to everybody. Look at these people here. You ask them, did they give the BDM to them?
Many are struggling with unemployment and have resorted to dual carry and informal border business in South Sudan, while others are frustrated with moneylenders who are taking advantage of the situation.
Please, can you prove for us your manifesto? Your manifesto, you have not proved to us.
If you want to raise the standards of education, you pay teachers better, you give more support for the student, for the school to run effectively. And if you are the president, you know where the problem is. Don't go blaming everybody else. No. At least be honest and say, we don't have enough money yet. Say that. Don't make it seem as if there can be high standards when you're not paying teachers well.
These major issues are affecting the quality of life for residents in the two districts. While addressing his supporters in Ombachi, Oleba, and Koboko Boma grounds, General Mugisha Muntu urged the people of Western Nile to trust him with their votes, promising change and transformation.
You can eliminate poverty unless you put money in the farmers. Farmers are the majority. Out of 100 people, 70 are farmers. In fish industry, in crop industry, in animal industry.
In Malacha, General Monto emphasized the need for disciplined leadership and corruption measures and investment in key sectors like education, health, and food security.
There are no drugs at Health Center 2, Health Center 3, Health Center 4, not in hospitals at the district, not in hospitals at referral, not in the hospital at the national. But for all that to happen, there must be leaders who are not corrupt. Who are disciplined, who care about the country, who care about people.
Haruna Mutesasira, UBC News.
There are people who tell you one thing, tell him another.
Now over to Serere, where the Forum for Democratic Change, FDC presidential candidate Nandala Nathan Nandala Mafabi has pledged to support people of Serere district with coffee seedlings while conducting his campaign rallies in Tiere Town Council, Alego Parish, Serere district. Mafabi encouraged people in the area to grow coffee as an additional cash crop to cotton.
The FDC presidential candidate Nathan Nandala Mafabi has spent Friday conducting campaign rallies in different town councils of Serere district. At Alengo Parish, Tirak Town Council, Mr. Mafabi expressed disappointment that the district lacks a serious cash crop which people can grow and earn from. Leaders in Teso region have shifted focus after discovering that coffee is a profitable alternative, although harsh weather conditions affect the little that's been grown in the area.
Ask people of Teso today, my fathers and mothers, which cash crop do you have now? Now that you don't have cash crop, I'm sure your children are ending up here. And also to bring coffee, private coffee at the coffee border and a coffee next month.
While campaigning at Opayeng Market, Olio Sub-County, Mafabi promised to tarmac 200 kilometers of roads in each district across Uganda if elected president in the January 2026 general elections. He further pledged to invest in reviving the region's orange industry.
I'm going to invest in the fruit factory which is in Soroti. I mentioned that the other time I was here, the PS and the Minister of Finance came here 2 weeks ago. That they are going now to give you $30 million. Where have they been for 40 years?
The FDC presidential candidate also held campaign rallies in Upper Shops Town Council, where he promised to pay pensioners and ex-combatants. Charity Marion Imnat and Farida Namfoka for UBC News.
The head of State House Investors Protection Unit, Kano Edith Nakalima, has called on leaders to embrace integrity, accountability and the legacy anchored in God. Nakalima is in Lera City to rally different stakeholders to lead a lasting legacy. Eddie Olwa reports.
Once feared, now warmly welcomed. Kano Edith Nakalema is back in Lango, but with a new face and a new message.
Hallelujah. God is good all the time. You are the leaders that the Lord gave us.
Invited by the African Evangelistic Enterprise, she joined church, cultural and security leaders for a leadership mission aimed at transforming cities through the power of faith.
That for us to have a lasting legacy, we have to be consistent in adding value to those that we live with, those that we serve, those that serve us. You should be remembered for how you made others better than you found them.
The Diocese of Lango says the gathering was timely, a chance for leaders to pause, reflect and reconnect with God away from the daily pressures of public office.
Integrity and honesty, being a person of integrity, uncompromising, doing the right thing even when nobody is seeing you.
Kano Nakalema took cultural leaders and security forces through a deep spiritual journey, preaching integrity, trust, empathy and loyalty.
Children of God, for that matter, keep the peace, keep the love, and ensure that what is good is what is upheld. Ensure that what brings stability is what is upheld. So I now want to say, those of you are saying we are going back to keep in the love of God, not to suffer with whatever the tensions that are around. Your work as leaders is to make life meaningful with love, meaningful with joy, meaningful with productivity, not tensions of who is...
When challenges arise, she rallied leaders to turn to God, keep peace and uphold stability.
And the message that she brought to us was about love, which at the moment, as we are healing from so many things we have been through in the past, including our confusions, what we need, which is key at the moment, is love.
As council leaders, we have to, one, know God in order to have that integrity.
From Margarita Palace, where she met cultural leaders, Nakalema moved to Lira Hotel to address the security forces of Lira City. Here she reminded them to fight evil both physically and spiritually.
Even when you are going home to relax, ask yourself, why am I here on earth? Why am I the one in uniform? Why am I the one that God has sent where I serve?
Kano Nakalema's mission to build leaders who will not betray trust and lead a lasting legacy is rooted in faith, integrity and service. Ediolwa, UBC News.
Indeed, I love the spiritual vibe and fire, and of course God is so important in everything. Now, as we go over to Amoru, National Unity Platform NUP leader and presidential candidate Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert Friday campaigned in Amoru district, as we hear more in this report.
Chagulanyi arrived in various parts of Noya, where large numbers of supporters had gathered, singing and dancing as they welcomed him. While campaigning here, Chagulanyi emphasized that all Ugandans, regardless of their political colors, belong to the same nation. At one point, he even called a few people wearing yellow and handed them Uganda flags as a gesture of unity.
Come here, come take this flag from me, my brother.
Supporters later escorted him towards Amuru district. However, as he approached Legu town, his supporters engaged in a scuffle with security. Visibly unhappy, Chagulanyi accused both the Electoral Commission and security agencies of remaining silent while he was being unfairly restricted, even though he is a presidential candidate.
Even if they bring the military to you as if you have guns, don't be scared. Never lose hope. Never ever lose hope. Uganda is our country, and never ever allow them to divide you.
He stayed at the blocked road, causing a traffic jam as he attempted to negotiate with security officers.
We want to go and campaign before it is late, Mr. President.
When they refused to allow entry, he began singing the Uganda national anthem along with his supporters. Unable to proceed, Chagulanyi chose to entertain the crowds. He performed several songs as both his supporters and police officers watched.
At 27 minutes past 8 o'clock, we take a short break and we will return with more news. Stay with us.
Your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Simply buy a Gaga bundle by dialing *100 *0# and stand a chance to win a fully paid trip to Morocco. Gaga your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Together, our fire is unstoppable. Fire! MTN. Terms and conditions apply. MTN Uganda is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission. You see, I've been a painter for almost 4 decades, and I have found Global Paints to be very reliable. First, everyone knows we use Global Paint undercoat. Now, for the best results, I continue with Global Paints products. I go for silk vinyl when it comes to the interior. Then Global Matte for the ceiling, and when it comes to weatherproof, I go for Global Weather Coat Emulsion. With that one, the house will never peel. Now, there you have a sparkling, magical looking house. And then the client is very happy. He recommends me to another person, who recommends me to another person, who recommended me to come and do the advert. Global Paint, a reliable product.
Kabogozi, where are you coming from?
From NSSF.
NSSF? You came all the way from Namagundi to get NSSF services. Lekanawe. NSSF is now everywhere. Come on, I show you.
Yakamande pakabanda. You can register for NSSF. How come you get your simade life? Now deep down in the Marara. Make NSSF payments. No wahala okubekalangala. NSSF sure is not far. But tomorrow kuhika gochido. Enjoy NSSF from where you are.
Access NSSF services right where you live. With over 20,000 quick teller agents across Uganda, now you can conveniently register yourself, make NSSF payments and contributions to your Smart Life account to Ubeda. NSSF, a better life. Your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Simply buy a Gaga bundle by dialing *100*0# and stand a chance to win a fully paid trip to Morocco. Gaga your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Together, our fire is unstoppable. Fire! MTN. Terms and conditions apply. MTN Uganda is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
This is our home, our land, our Uganda. From the rolling hills to the busy streets, from the farmers in the fields to the students in classrooms, we are one people. Elections are a time to choose our leaders, not to fight our brothers and sisters. When violence enters the ballot box, the future of our country is wounded. But when peace leads the way, our nation grows stronger. On election day, choose unity over diversion, respect over hatred, and dialogue over distraction. Love your country, protect your fellow citizens, stand for peace, and say no to electoral violence. This message is brought to you by the Global Election Observation Mission, GEOM, in partnership with the Uganda Electoral Commission. Informed citizens, strong nation.
Parliament of Uganda will host the 15th edition of the East African Community Interparliamentary Games from 5th to 17th December 2025 in Kampala. The Games will be held across various venues including Philip Omondi, Chambogo, Ham Stadium, Makerere University, Wankulukuku, Kampala Golf Club and Serena Golf Club. Held under the theme, Advancing Integration Through East African Community Parliamentary Sports, the Games aim at fostering the East African integration process. Entrance is free and you are all invited to come and cheer your MPs as they take on their regional counterparts.
Into our next segment, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabbanja, has today commissioned a solar-powered project which provide clean water to thousands in Kakumiro District. Kakumiro District is among the 22 districts in Uganda that have benefited under the Integrated Water Management and Development Project that is funded by the World Bank and Exim Bank of India.
On behalf of
the government of Uganda, under its policy of providing clean water to all Ugandans, borrowed funds from the World Bank and the Exim Bank of India to finance the provision of clean water to 22 districts in Uganda, Kakumiro District inclusive.
Amasi mwegali. Kabong, Yumbe, Agago, Amdat, Mulambuli, Buvuma, Buyende, Namayingo, Changwanzi, Kakumiro, Mitiana, Nakaseke, Lakai, Sembabuli, Bulisa, Kasese, Chibali, Chegegwa, Mubende, Kasanda, Liantonde, Kisoro, and Rwanda. We are also targeting other districts. Commission Lembo water supply system.
Today, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabbanja, commissioned 6 solar-powered water projects in areas of Mwitanzige, Kikora, Birembo, Kakindo, Kikwaya, and Igayaza at a cost of over 18 billion shillings.
We are gathered here to launch a modern solar-powered water systems that have brought clean and safe water close to our people. Amaizi gano gaizire kubabera hai oja kuwata bukwata katapu. Under the NRM manifesto of 2026-2031, we commit as government to continue investing in clean water, sanitation and hygiene. Our goal is clear. Every Ugandan must have access to clean and safe water as well as proper sanitation and hygiene facilities. Water supply system.
Nabbanja, who is also the Kakumiro Woman Member of Parliament, said the project will improve on sanitation and reduce on the communicable diseases affecting Ugandans.
If we use it the way we think, it will reduce on the communicable diseases. Ebirwaire bikaire biterebaniza. Ebirwaire by'abaana biduka no biki. Obukunywa amaizi amarungi. Ebirwaire ebyo nibikora ki? Nibigenda. Chikora water project.
She directed the National Water and Sewerage Corporation to charge only 100,000 shillings per each household connection instead of 220,000 shillings.
I direct as the Prime Minister of this country. The purpose of this project is for our people to have access to clean and safe water. So if you don't connect them, then we have done a disservice to the President. You will have done a disservice to the government of Uganda, which has borrowed.
Akati mbegai okwegaira kwange mulabe nti Museveni asigalawo mulabenga Nabbanja takyaliwo. Nabbanja oliwo weeri Kamuseni. Nabbanja yafuuka maapu yamu ya Kakumiro. Nabbanja nafuuka sign post ya Kakumiro. Nabbanja nafuuka address ya Kaku. Nebwe baba akulogo malaga gamba kamarega Nabbanja niwo.
Now, still with NRM mobilization, the ruling National Resistance Movement, NRM Party, has launched a parish-based grassroots mobilization strategy ahead of the 2026 general elections. The announcement was made during a press conference held at the party's headquarters in Kampala.
NRM Party to officially launch the NRM parish-based grassroots mobilization strategy, which is aimed at ensuring that we protect the gains.
At a press briefing held at the party secretariat, members of the NRM leadership said the parish-based mobilization strategy is designed to strengthen party structures and deepen engagement with communities across the country and mobilize votes for President Museveni.
We are launching today the parish-based grassroots mobilization strategy. We are taking the campaign in threefold. One is the rallies that the candidate is having. Two is this parish-based mobilization strategy. And then, of course, the third phase is the last mile. Under the parish-based mobilization strategy,
we are going as leaders, NRM leaders at national level, including ourselves at the Secretariat, but also senior cadres across board. Some are former ministers, former members of parliament, others are sitting or serving ministers.
The party noted that this approach will enable more direct interaction with citizens, ensuring that government programs are better understood and implemented at local levels as the country heads into 2026 polls.
But this time round, they are leading this campaign at the district level and at the village level. And they are the foot soldiers at the village level. So we want to appreciate the leaders that you have already met, that have shown that enthusiasm to really look for the president's votes and ensure that we protect the votes, we look for the votes and protect them and ensure that we deliver our president. It is an unprecedented strategy. We want to thank everybody that has come on board.
NRM officials say the initiative is part of the party's broader plan to consolidate support and strengthen its organizational capacity as Uganda prepares for the 2026 general elections.
This strategy, the parish mobilization meeting, these ones are only intended to intensify, to cascade Muzee's information, Muzee's message to the grassroots. I want to assure you, there is no political player in this country that operates at the lowest unit branches, villages. It is only the NRM.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Has kicked off a fresh grassroots mobilization drive aimed at strengthening President Yoweri Museveni's support in Kampala's neighborhoods. At a meeting today held in Makerere Kavule, the party's director for mobilization, Dr. Rosemary Seninde, officially flagged off teams of local leaders who will traverse villages in Kawempe division. Well, we will be bringing that story back in our subsequent bulletin. Now, the State Minister for National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga, has engaged members of the Rwenzururu Veteran Development Association, a group that brings together individuals who contributed to the historic Rwenzururu struggle. During the meeting, the veterans pledged to mobilize support for the NRM presidential flag bearer, focusing on promoting peace and socio-economic transformation at grassroots.
The Rwenzururu veterans are people who participated in the Rwenzururu struggle from 1962 to 1982 when the king descended from the mountains. Today we have had a meeting with the State Minister of ICT, Honorable Kabyanga Godfrey, and we are committing ourselves before him and the government that we are tired of the conflicts in the Rwenzururu sub-region and we want a change. We are in for peace.
They have all declared that enough is enough. And I have agreed with them that we are going to move around the whole region to see how we sensitize their colleagues. They have branches, they even have offices, so that we start sensitize their colleagues.
We must work with the government so that the government can assist us to educate the people. Let us work with the government to promote development in this region. Let us work with the government to see that every person in the Rwenzururu sub-region has developed.
And you know the Rwenzururu veterans have their own mwoga. It was specially created. And they have received close to 500 million in their mwoga. And the president has already directed that they give them another 500 million for that specific work.
And so the Minister for Luwero Rwenzori has been informed to prepare this program for the Rwenzori veterans so that they can get now some startup capital to let them begin doing development activities. And those who were dismissed, who were in the Kasese district local government and were dismissed in 1988, are also going to be paid.
We don't want anybody to force anyone to vote for President Museveni. They should convince them. But we are going to force people to embrace socio-economic transformation. Because we don't want to have poor people. Once you have poor people, you will get a reoccurrence of that confusion every time. That one we are going to force them.
So we are in for government and we are pushing in with the President Museveni. We are going in with the President Museveni and we are going to mobilize the people to rally behind him because he is the one who is going to assist us to achieve peace in this region so that development can now shine.
Now, former Prime Minister of Uganda, Mama Mbabazi, has called for a new era of intergenerational leadership built on strong institutions that are essential for shaping Africa's economic future. He was speaking at the 3rd Tumsime Mutebide annual public lecture held at Makerere University.
Professor Emmanuel Tumsime Mutebile the late remains a distinguished public servant whose financial sector reforms and anti-inflation policies reshaped Uganda's economy.
Makerere University, he demonstrated the courage, integrity, and commitment to public service.
His lecture series stands as a reminder of Mutebile's demand for economic excellence to economic students across the country.
He understood that true leadership is not about personal glory, but about service to others and to the nation.
Honorable Amama Mbabazi, chairperson of the Emmanuel Mutebile Foundation, highlighted the need to build an economy rooted in productivity and institutional strength.
That deliberate transmission of knowledge must become the norm, not the exception. The Tumsime Mutebile Foundation therefore promotes dialogue between policymakers and private sector actors to advance policy consistency and institutional accountability.
Bank of Uganda Governor Michael Atinego pointed to Uganda's youthful population as a powerful asset, citing Mutebile's teachings on honesty and resilience crucial as the country navigates new economic challenges.
We must invest relentlessly in human capital, education, health, skills development. Our demographics dividends is not automatic, it's a choice. If we fail to invest in our young people's capabilities, that dividend becomes a deficit.
Engineer Tuso Tosubira criticized systemic discrimination that limits young people from leadership roles, describing them as idealistic, innovative, and capable.
Mutual respect, recognizing that each generation has different outlooks, experiences, and strengths they bring to the table, enabling a more accurate conception of the elephant.
Government, through the Ministry of Agriculture and partnership with the National Agricultural Research Organization, NARO, and the World Bank, have awarded 24 scholars research grants and academic scholarships under the Climate Smart Agricultural Transformation Project.
Smart Agriculture Transformation Project supports scientists and researchers whose innovations are expected to advance climate-smart agriculture, improve food security, and protect Uganda's agriculture gains from the threats of climate change. Officiating the awarding of 24 scholars, Minister of State for Agriculture, Fred Wino Chakulaga, said government has invested in this project to safeguard the agriculture sector.
They will equip our scientists, extension workers, and research institutions with the knowledge and tools required to protect the gains and secure our agricultural future. Every beneficiary, whether a research grant recipient or a scholarship awardee, now becomes a player in Uganda's journey towards resilience.
Narrow Board of Governors Chairperson Dr. William Olaho Mokani emphasized the importance of closely monitoring the scholars' timely completion of their studies to ensure they respond to existing challenges in the agricultural sector.
We've had a commitment from the university that this is going to be different, and we shall all be part of the process in monitoring and supervising to ensure they do complete, so that the ministry, NARO, and government at large will be proud of their contribution. And then for the scientists, they're going to do that really action-oriented, responding to the challenges that are existing in the sector.
Let us guide them, support them, and they finish in time. Supervisors, please. We as council, we shall ensure that there is value for money, and we shall work together with NARO management, NARO Sec, to ensure that the project, the part of NARO, which is benefiting from this project, is doing well.
The program saw 143 proposals that underwent rigorous technical evaluation before the best 24 were selected. The total budget is $6 million, with each PhD student receiving $50,000 and $22,000 for masters.
To launch these competitive research grants, and also there were 24 principal research investigators who were successful. We had 265 applicants who applied, and we went through a number of processes and evaluated the 265 proposals. We went through the eligibility stage to ensure that the principal investigators do adhere to the criteria.
The scholarships focus on critical areas such as reproductive technologies, plant breeding, soil fertility, aquatic biosecurity, waste management, artificial intelligence for agriculture, and climate-resilient crop varieties.
The government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Finance, has released 24 billion shillings as part of the 52 billion shillings required to compensate 1,045 people affected by the national oil project in Buvuma and Sangobe in Chotira district.
According to Minister Chakulaga, the compensation process had faced delays due to verification challenges and budget constraints, but the newly released funds will enable government to fast-track payments to the affected individuals.
These 24 billion Uganda shillings was divided into two portions by the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. 14 billion was allocated by the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to compensate people affected or persons affected by the oil palm project in Buvuma, while Uganda shillings 10 billion was allocated to compensate people affected in Sangobe.
Chakulaga further explained that the compensation exercise is part of a broader strategy to promote transparency and restore confidence among communities in project areas.
Based on the government's valuers report, the Minister of Agriculture, Mines and Fisheries has made full payments to 301 project affected persons in the 5 villages of Mubembe, Bwaka, Muwanga, Mbekete, and Ndaiga in the Buvuma district.
The minister emphasized that the government remains committed to ensuring that all project-affected persons receive fair and timely compensation.
I call upon them to exercise patience, well assured that all of them are going to be compensated by the government of Uganda.
Nals Wawini reporting for UBC.
In Uganda's oil and gas journey, the citizens and communities are partners in progress. Across the country, lives are being transformed through improved infrastructure, access to services, and new opportunities for growth. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda ensures that the oil and gas developments are inclusive. The livelihoods of households directly affected by acquisition of land for project activities have been improved through targeted resettlement, compensation and livelihood restoration programs. Farmers are receiving support to enhance productivity, food security and commercialize agriculture. Youth are gaining skills that open doors to employment and entrepreneurship. Women are empowered through financial inclusion and community leadership initiatives that strengthen the social fabric of our nation. Education, health, clean water and road upgrade projects are uplifting families and building resilience in areas hosting the oil and gas activities. Through collaboration with community leaders, civil society and development partners, Uganda is building a future of shared prosperity. At the heart of regulating these developments for the last 10 years stands the Petroleum Authority of Uganda with a mission of creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Power your moment. Techno, the global partner of AFCON 2025.
And into the world of business, as we kick off with agriculture, communities in eastern Uganda are seeing major transformation as farmers embrace modern farming methods introduced through Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA's agricultural programs. Let's hear more in this report.
In Kwen and Bulambuli districts, families that once relied mainly on livestock have shifted to improved crop production, especially rice, boosting incomes and strengthening household livelihoods.
The way they trained us, we have now changed. From the other behind system, we are just planting properly. But now we are trained, it is helping us the way they trained us.
Local farmers say the new practices have increased food security, created jobs and lifted the entire village economically.
We've also moved an extra mile to train some farmers from the Ngenge irrigation scheme. And the main purpose as to why we are doing this, why we are doing these trainings, is to help these farmers to improve on their yields.
Jen Nandutu, one of the beneficiaries, says modern rice farming has enabled her to harvest more than ever before, built a decent home, provided for her children, an impact reflected across neighboring communities.
Ku kilo 10 ze batuwa
nga nze njogera nafunamu ensawu zange nga 2 ze nafuna nendaba nti kinkoledde kyentabadde kyentafunanga.
Leaders from the Ayua Farmers Association report that over 200 farmers have joined the program, pooling resources to expand the initiative and support each other.
We plan in the near future to start buying permanent assets for Ayua. Permanent ones that will last.
This project, upon its completion, will support farmers to improve on the rice agronomy, to improve on techniques for agriculture. We want to see them improving on their well-being, and also we want to see that their standard of living is going high in terms of income generation, and also something to do with the value chain for agriculture.
JICA's investment, including the Atari irrigation scheme, is helping communities access reliable water for farming. Further upgrades are expected at the head works at Atari by 2027, promising even greater economic progress for the region.
Now, in the area of smuggling cigarettes, Uganda Revenue Authority has arrested 2 people that have been engaged in cigarette smuggling worth 36 million shillings at a warehouse in Nakawa. Nabalai Christine, the Executive Inspector of Police in charge of business intelligence, confirmed they have been charged with false pretense and false declaration.
2025, Frank, Mugisha and Muhumuza George were reported to URA for fraudulently pretending that they were selling and exporting Supermatch cigarettes to Ewan Masereka Kahoma Masavuli from Customs Warehouse in Nakawa.
A businessman from Congo, and introduced to him a deal of selling to him Supermatch cigarettes. They purportedly told him that was from Kenya and that it was warehoused at URA, Nakawa, and that if he buys the said cigarette, each carton he will get a bonus of $20 US. So he paid 36,880,000 Uganda currency on that PRN, and they also generated a T1 document in the names of Masereka, purporting that he was going to export.
Inspector Christine Navalayo confirmed that these were immediately arrested and charged with fraudulent cases.
He illegally cigarettes, Supermatch cigarettes from Kenya, from South Sudan, deemed to be contrabands. So to us that is making, or it's making a false declaration, or causing to make a false declaration. We also looked at obtaining money by false pretense because of the fraudulent means that they used.
Publicly exposing these captives is to show the consequences of fraud.
If you get anybody purporting to have cigarettes that are at URA and they are saying they will sell them to you, we urge you to report that person.
And that's all we had time for. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. Let's meet again at 10 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Inspiring Uganda.
Celebrating the life of Professor Jeffrey Niyonzima Rugege, there will be a vigil on the 4th of December at 6 p.m. at Ineza Garden, Chinyinya. There will be another celebration of his life on December the 5th at 6 p.m. at the same place in Ineza Garden, Chinyinya. Church service will take place on December the 6th at 10 a.m. at Iya Remera Church, Giporoso Parish. Burial will take place on the 8th of December at 2 p.m. at Omujenyi, Ntungamo, Uganda. For more information, contact Elijah Iragaba in Rwanda on +250 783 000 309. You can also contact Dr. Kenneth Kagame in Uganda on +256 702 415184. You can also contact Crystal Rugege in the US on +185 775 62620.